President Biden warning that he'll have to ask Congress for more money to respond to Helene, thanks to, quote, unforeseen costs. I think I know what those are, as Homeland Security says it does not have the funds to see Americans through the hurricane season. Meanwhile, Republicans are ripping FEMA for spending $1.4 billion to address the needs of illegals instead of preparing for storm relief. Former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf is here to react. Chad, it's great to have you on. I mean, this frustration is being felt by every American. What can you tell us about how money was raided from FEMA?
Yeah, well, let me start off by just saying my heart goes out to the folks in North Carolina, Georgia, and elsewhere impacted. Look, I think what you see from this administration and DHS specifically is that they've taken their eye off the ball, and the ball being their primary mission of disaster relief. They have instituted a new grant program over the last couple of years that gives away billions of dollars to migrants to facilitate this crisis along the border. And so as you divert FEMA resources from that, you divert them from their primary mission, which is this disaster relief. But for the secretary to be on his way to North Carolina to try to provide some reassurance to those impacted, to say that FEMA is out of money is just, I can't believe that he would make that comment, because one, that's not what you say to disaster survivors. Two, it's not true. FEMA's got over $21 billion available to them right now to help folks down in North Carolina and elsewhere. And so what it feels to me is another shift of responsibility. They're trying to shift it back to Congress when it's their responsibility, this slow recovery. They've been behind the ball from day one, and I think it's an attack to shift responsibility. So,
Chad, are you telling me FEMA at this moment has $21 billion, but now they're going to Congress and saying we don't have enough money?
That's exactly right. In the CR, the continuing resolution passed about a week ago, Congress gave FEMA access to $21 billion in the disaster relief fund. So they have access to that. So I have no idea what the secretary means when he says he's out of money. Now, he could be out of money come January or February, but that is not where we sit today here in October, where FEMA has all the funding they need to address the crisis there in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and elsewhere.
You know, it's just such a slap in the face. I just saw that Secretary Blinken over the last day or two said, you know, he bragged about giving $157 million to Lebanon. I just saw some videos of Susan Powers talking. She's touring all the infrastructure projects we're paying for. I'm sorry, Samantha Powers, that she's touring all the infrastructure projects in Ukraine. We're paying the pension funds of people in Ukraine, and we can't help our own citizens. You talked about the primary mission of FEMA. How about the primary mission of the government? To serve our people.
Yeah, that's exactly right. America first, right? Let's help Americans first and foremost. And so when the vice president talks about $750 to help those folks in North Carolina and elsewhere, it's completely tone deaf. It's tone deaf in the sense of and you talked about it, the millions of dollars that you're giving overseas to other countries, when in fact our country is now in distress, and there's Americans that are feeling this here at home. And to say that you're out of money, or to say you're only providing $750 is terrible.
Chad, should FEMA be privatized? Would that make things better?
I don't know that is the answer. I think this comes back to leadership. This comes back to making sure that you got the leaders in the right place. FEMA was obviously operated very differently under President Trump, and I was a part of that for a period of time, making sure that you pre-deploy assets and resources down there. And there's a variety of different things that could be done differently. So I think this comes down to leadership in my book. Yeah.
Well, it's cold comfort for those in North Carolina at this moment. So thank you so much, Chad. Really, really great having you on and getting your perspective.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.